So that was the second and most recent trailer that was released at TGS. And yes, there was already a ton more that was seen in that we have not seen before. So the animations all extremely polished. There's new things that's being shown, and there's even more information to get into. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of is that I think we really are coming to the tail end of this process. There is some things that need to happen prior to before we actually get to the official release stuff. But this is all really, really good stuff because this means that they're kind of finalizing and packaging everything up. Now, the thing that I'm referring to here is obviously, before we get into some of the TGS stuff, I want to hit you guys with some of the good stuff that's currently going on. So there is going to be one more test phase that's going to be happening. It's a fairly small one, though. This is only a recruitment period for 100 people. Right now, if you guys are familiar or aren't familiar with how these testing phases work, usually they'll do like closed betas, but they'll have a pretty high increment or, amount of people that are able to join in and play them. Or they'll have open betas where, it's just kind of accessible to a lot of people. But with this beta in particular, it's only going to be accessible to 100 players. And a lot of the times with these types of betas, it means that they are trying to just make sure that there's certain kinks not, there within the game before they kind of release that finalized package and allow people to be able to really experience and play the game. Now, of course, with this, they're doing the recruitment period. So going into next month, we'll actually be able to get more into what they've changed in the game. So we'll be able to take a first look at that because I will be able to have access to the beta, what's changed, how the game's developed, etc. Right? And even being able to take a look at some of the newer characters because there's even some that they've gone to show in their gallery. Now, before we touch on some of the TGS stuff, I do want to kind of show, obviously, some of the units that we've seen prior to, which again, this chick we all are very familiar with. She was definitely a unit that I used quite a bit. And we can even see that there has been some slight adjustments and animation changes and even some design stuff that was adjusted on her to just honestly make her look better. So she looks even better. But for example, this character right here, I have no idea who this is. This is Rahu, it says, but I don't know exactly who this character is. I mentioned him in the last video, but he looks really, really sick. Now, of course, this is Leanne, by the way. So they did change her name. So her name is Leanne. Now, of course, with that, we have a new character that, again, I've never seen before named Viper. So Viper is another character, which I kind of found it to be ironic that they're showcasing him in the arena screen. So for those of you guys that are wondering, this is the arena screen. And again, that's going to be something that's really cool to get into, considering that they're doing something very unique where there's going to be a arena mode where duplicates do not take factor. So that's going to be really, really cool to get into, right? Now, of course, they go to show Doki. Doki, of course, is one of the characters that we touched on in the most recent video from the developers, where they are basically taking a character and making them into a playable character that's a boss, right? So she's originally a boss, and they're making her into a playable character as well, and they're going to be planning to do this in the future as well with other characters. Now, I'm not gonna lie, her character art looks insane. She looks really, really good. She is a chocolate waifu, which is kind of nice. I'm like, okay, we kind of working here. And of course, there's other characters in the game that they're also going to be giving that type of special treatment to. So it's just really, really cool. Of course, we have Xiao Da as well, and she's just an insane support in the CBT. So I'm assuming she's gonna probably still hold that same weight, considering all things, right? So they go here to also show a couple of other things here, with all the units all together. But then they threw in another unit here. So it looks like this is Valerian, and this is a whole other character as well that I've never seen before, and she looks sick. All these characters are looking so freaking good. They all have some unique flair to them. And I just honestly think that they're just really cooking up their own universe, which is going to make their game just super, super stand out and just really unique. And that's why I'm really hype about it. I feel like those of you guys that like Dislike a lot are going to really enjoy this game. I feel like this is going to be a really, really fun game. So that's basically all the gallery new pictures that they basically have shown and put up on their website here. Now, the thing is that they also have the stuff for TGS currently going on. And I like to show these types of things too, because this is also showing like some of the marketing, some of the, I would say, investment or level of amounts of money that they're also putting in. So with some of the things that they're already showcasing over on that side, if the picture loads while, we're still alive, they basically have like the entire, kind of like stand convention, I guess with the booth, right? It's a pretty big booth too. So they have that all kind of going. They have like, different, like I guess if you want to call these kind of like posters of the characters up, which is really, really cool. All the lights, all the computers, PCs set up. So I know that, people were probably wondering like, hey, is this game going to have controller support, etc.? Yes, it more than actually it does. It will have controller support because I was actually able to test it, right? So controller support will be a thing, but you also can play mouse and keyboard. So that is that. But then, of course, going into some of the other, showing everything, you see that they have like some of those big cutouts of the characters. Listen, I know some of y'all down bad, but they got some of the big cutouts of some of the characters, which is really, really cool. And then, of course, they had the cosplayers. So that's always a really, really good thing to see. They're putting money into that. They have, obviously, usually they're famous or really well-known people that come and cosplay characters from their game. So they did like Xiao Da, for example. They also did Doki as well. So again, really, really cool to see some of these things, being, developed and just kind of happening on that side. This is just kind of like their recap from day 1 and 2. But yeah, they still have, I think, another like couple of days, which I think is just for the remainder of this weekend. And then that'll be basically done. So we might see some more highlight videos and some other things. We might get some more gameplay things leading up to this final CBT. But this final CBT will basically be taking place, if I'm not mistaken. I think they officially announce who gets in, at least on that side. So of course, if you are on that side and you do want to try to get in, they should be announcing that, I think, on the 24th. So they close it on the 20th, 24th. They announce it, and then we'll be able to actually get our hands into being able to play the game. So I'm just really excited. There's just so much anticipation. The animations just look really, really good. They really are doing their thing. I guess that's also kind of like the other thing for me too, is that they really are putting in such high level in just the quality, but still keeping that uniqueness. I think that like, and again, this is nothing against like HSR. I think HSR is a really, really good game. I mean, I play it, right? But I feel like there's certain aspects in terms of like character uniqueness that I still would gravitate to a game like Dislight for. Where I feel like, you're kind of getting some of that like super high in-depth visual quality that you would be getting from like a HSR, but you're still getting some of that uniqueness that you would be seeing in games like Dislight, which I feel like if you can have the perfect balance of that and then still have a very, very like solid game, you're going to win, right? Like, I don't see this game not doing well. They've been taking a lot of the players' feedback, and they scrapped a whole bunch of stuff and brought in a lot of things that gave players value. So I feel like, again, we're going to be able to touch on those things in the near future. But of course, I want to keep you guys up to date on what exactly has happened with Etheria Restart. I know the anticipation is killing you and it is definitely killing me. So hopefully we get our hands on this very, very soon, officially. But let me know how you guys feel in the comment section down below. Are there any characters you've seen so far or that you've already seen that you're pretty excited for? Because yeah, we have a lot to get into. So yeah, guys, make sure if you have it, check out the last video that kind of gets into, more of what the developers' minds and what exactly they're planning on doing with this game.